Okay. Hi, this is Me Before Mom, the podcast that helps moms stay connected to themselves while doing the most important job they'll ever have. And I'm your host, Bert Anderson. Hey guys, it is Bert, and you are listening to Me Before Mom. Today, we are going to talk about something that is currently happening in my tween daughter's life. We're going to talk about mean girls. What is a mean girl? How do you deal with a mean girl? I know what they are. You know what they are because we all dealt with them. The joys of being a teenager or a tween ager. Interestingly enough, I was thinking about this because my daughter has come. There's somebody at my daughter's school who has decided that uh, for some reason she doesn't like when people look at her. And because of that, she also happens to be a confrontational person. Um, she's not afraid to confront people when she feels that they have been staring at her or looking at her for too long. So my daughter is intimidated by this and is very anxious about what to do and how to. She doesn't know what to do or how to act around her and stuff. And I'm not saying that this student is a mean girl because I don't see any of the signs of that to begin with. But it made me think of it because we all have those people in our life that intimidate us and we come into contact with them and we're not quite sure how to act. And then we see our kids and they kind of experience the same things. And if I can teach my daughters, especially, how to avoid the mean girl behavior that happens it starts happening for sure in fifth, sixth grade, and then, goes on up to high school, like all the gossiping and just the backstabbing that can happen. Um, I can't even imagine what it's like now with social media because we didn't have that when I was in those lovely teenage years. People get so gutsy when they are hiding behind a computer screen. Um, and they were gutsy. Mean Girls were gutsy in the mid 90s when I was going through it myself and I didn't have a computer screen that I had to deal with. So, this situation just made me think like how do I help my daughters learn how to handle these types of situations in a way that they don't feel as ruined by them as I did. And maybe it's part of life. We all have to learn how to, go through these difficult challenges of having a rumor spread about us or having somebody misunderstand something that we were saying, losing a friendship, breaking up with a, significant other, just all those heartbreaks that you don't want to see your kids go through, but you know that they have to go through. But if there is a way that I can make the experience not as traumatic for my kids as it was for me, I will be a happy person. Because at the time when I was a teenager, I felt like the world was ending. And I really, truly thought that nothing was ever going to be okay again. And obviously, with age and experience comes wisdom. But there's got to be a way that we can impart some of that age and experience on our kids so that they don't have to deal with it like we did. So, if you're not familiar, I hope you are, of what a mean girl is. Mean girl, actually, the term mean girl became popular with the Tina Fey movie Mean Girls. And it came, I think it came out in 2004. You know, Regina George was her name. Rachel McAdams played her. Lindsay Lohan was in it. There's so many amazing pop culture things like I'm not like the other moms. I'm a cool mom. Things like that. But the movie itself did a really great job of dramatizing just the different cliques and just social ranks of a high school. When my kids get old enough that they can watch it, I will for sure have them watch this because I think it does a great job of explaining what Mean Girls are and how it all works. Um, so a mean girl, um, so basically what it is exactly what I said. The main thing with the mean girl is that there is a relational aggression or relational bullying that happens. So boys and girls, for the most part, bully their peers in a different way. Boys tend to be a little more physical. Not saying that girls can't be physical in their bullying. Girls do it. They tend to be more relationally aggressive in their bullying. Not to say that boys can't be relationally aggressive. Um, Relational aggression is can have a bigger negative impact on a girl more than it does on boys because it tends to deal with how the girl looks at herself and the social torment that happens because it often happens in silence without parents and teachers even noticing. And relational aggression is, you know, tactics like backbiting, ostracizing, rumor spreading, manipulating, um, and it can leave the victim feeling, just confused and bewildered, and just with no understanding of why they're being victimized and what's going on. Which I don't know, guys. It's really, really hard. Being a teenager is so hard. This is kind of bumming me out. Not going to be honest. This is sad. There's a lot of stuff that goes with this. But the thing that I think we need to look at is I think we need to try to explain to our kids how society works. And there is a social ladder to society. We can say that we're all equal and everybody is the same. That's not true, unfortunately. Certainly isn't true in middle school and high school. There's always going to be some type of a social ladder that everybody is trying to climb. Along with that social ladder comes peer pressure. I think what happens is that sometimes I think as adults, we minimize what we think is not I think sometimes we minimize that social ladder as not being as big of a deal as it actually is. And sometimes I think because we don't know how to handle the situation, we just believe and hope that it's just going to build resilience in our kids, and it will build resilience. But I wonder at what cost, and is it worth it in the end? Because whether you're the victim of a mean girl or you are the mean girl, the effects of the bullying can totally be devastating and it can be long lasting. They've done studies, and I, of course, will have the articles for you guys. Um, but what they have found is that girls who are relationally aggressive may use control and manipulation to accomplish what they want, which can lead to long-term unhappiness and even depression. Girls who use mean behavior tend to set high standards for themselves and others. Um, they tend to be perfectionists, and that can even lead to addictive behaviors and even eating disorders. So this isn't to just single out the mean girl as, the villain in this and say, you know, I don't know, she's terrible and we don't care about her, because there's a lot that goes into this as well. And that's what I've been trying to teach my daughter as we've been talking about, you know, what what is a mean girl and why do girls act the way they do? Because behind every mean action or relational piece of relational aggression is a story and a reason behind the action. And I try to tell my kids all the time, like, you don't know what's happening behind closed doors and you don't know what they're struggling with inside. So I think what you need to do is, I think you have to look at your kids, um, and watch how they interact with each other. So I've kind of started doing this with my own girls. And again, I found a very nice little lovely list, how to spot the 6 signs of a mean girl. Here's what you need to look for. It's from Very Well Family. So here's what it says. It says to spot mean behavior, observe how a girl interacts with other girls and pay attention to signs that reveal how she feels about herself. Girls who are hard on themselves may have a tendency to be just as hard on other people. Is that not the truth? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, that's so the truth. I sometimes I think about myself, and sometimes I can be really hard on my expectations for my friends, and what I expect of them, but I'm harder on myself and what I expect of myself as far as like being a friend to another person. I expect a lot from myself, and but that unfortunately also, if I don't check myself, it also bleeds into what I expect from somebody else, which is not fair because a lot of times it just goes unsaid and they can't read my mind. They have no idea that, I'm expecting them to bring me chicken noodle soup when I'm sick, which I'm not. That's a very big, you know, dramatic statement. That's just a dramatic statement. But it's kind of what I'm talking about. So, anyway, so here's top 6 warning signs. Um, Struggles with envy. So the envy is often the root of the issue, whether it's clothes, looks, boyfriends, or even grades. Girls who engage in mean behavior are often willing to go to great lengths to come out on top. Um, and this may include attempting to ruin another person's credibility or even hurting the person they're envious of. Um, and I think we have to take it a step further, because I think sometimes a lot of people say like, "Oh, they're just jealous of me," when they're mean. But I've noticed this in one of my daughters. She constantly is comparing herself to other people, and I'm trying to understand where she gets that and why she's doing it. And it's really tricky, guys. I think I'm probably going to talk to my therapist about it, and then I will report back to you on how to handle it because I don't quite know what to do. Um, because she can be really hard on herself. And she can be very like sassy when she'll say like, and so and so did this and everybody thinks she's the best and rah, rah, rah," and she'll say it like that and I'm just like, what, like who are you? But deep down, like that enviness, like she's feeling there's something that she's missing, and that's why she's comparing herself to other people, and she doesn't feel good about herself. And I don't want her to continue to struggle with envy and comparing herself to others. More on that later after I talk to a professional and figure out what to do with that. They can also be, mean girls are appearance focused. Mean girls are often overly concerned with appearance. They may place a high priority on their clothing, makeup, even their weight. They may also zero in on those things in others, pointing out everything from acne and weight gain to clothing choices and hairstyles. Mean girls may even withhold kindness and friendship from anyone who does not meet their physical standards. And these behaviors are sometimes motivated by a sense of insecurity. They may fear that if the people they surround themselves with are less than perfect, people will realize that they are less than perfect as well. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think when I think back to all the mean girls that I knew and came in contact with in middle school and high school, that is the first thing that I think of is how beautiful they all were and how uncool and unfashionable I was because I wore baggy jeans and big oversized sweatshirts and t-shirts. And I would totally be in style right now if I was going to high school, not in the mid 90s, unless you were into the grunge scene, which I was. Mean girls are also status focused. So even though they might not act like it, mean girls really do care a great deal about what others think of them. And it's hard, I think, for anybody to say that they don't care about what others think of them. I remember when I was younger, my mom telling me, and she must have been like in her 40s, that by the time she got to the age she was in her 40s, it was like the best time of her life because she just didn't care what people thought about her anymore. And I was like, gosh, that's got to be like super nice to not care about that anymore. And I'm at that age right now, and I can tell you it is really nice to be at that age and kind of be like, you know what, I don't care. Some people are going to like me, and some people are not going to like me, and that is okay. And if they don't like me, that is fine. I don't like you either. The key with that is getting your kids to understand that if you don't like someone, that doesn't give you license to be mean to that person. I think that's where kids take it too far. Is you can still be cordial to somebody even though you don't like them. Not liking somebody doesn't mean you can't be kind to them. And I always tell my kids that, like, you have got to be kind to people. So mean girls act incredibly confident. Um, they act like they don't care about what people think about them, but deep down, that is what drives them. It, they care a great deal about what others think about them. And for a lot of them, it is a feeling of control. So it's not uncommon. If you think about this, I've seen this happen in real life to myself. It's not uncommon for a mean girl to become friends with somebody else because they think that that person can help improve their status. And then they, think about like the big, like the nerds, people that nobody liked in high school. it also like it helps like the opposite way, the reverse way. Like if you were friends with somebody, let's say in middle school, and all of a sudden that friend is no longer like popular anymore and you become like super popular and you don't hang out anymore, there's this pressure to not be friends with the popular person and vice versa because they're going to bring your status down. I can think of so many movies where this is applicable. The other problems or the other things is that you can see is troubles with friendships. Um, there tends to be a lot of drama with friends, more than just the normal conflict. They tend to belong to a clique. There is a difference between having a group of friends and a clique. Um, so in a clique, there are usually unspoken rules or requirements. It could be like physical aspects like looks, hairstyles, clothing choices. In the movie Mean Girls, one of the things was on Wednesdays we wear pink. Um, so other people are not invited into a clique. A friend group, people are welcoming and will let people join the group. Issues with control. Many mean girls demonstrate controlling behaviors. I already talked about this. Here's the deal. I think that the whole mean girl thing is just basically we just are all control freaks. We just want to control. We feel like we are born into this world that feels out of control and we don't understand it. And so we kind of are fumbling around and trying to figure out how we can feel like we're in control. And for the mean girl, I think deep down inside, I think she is insecure. I think she doesn't like who she is. I think she's jealous of what she doesn't have, and she feels out of control. And so she acts out and does the opposite. So I think the way that we help our kids to prevent this from spinning out of control where it does a lot of damage is by being really honest with them that this happens and that mean girls are a real thing. We talk to our daughters about what it looks like, how to be kind to others. Um, we're willing to talk to them about things like being jealous. So, and when it's not the heat of the moment with my daughter that struggles with jealousy, I will choose a time to sit down with her and be like, I've noticed that you say these certain things. Why do you think that is? Can you tell me like what's behind that? And hopefully we can get to the root of it and figure out before it becomes a real problem, before it takes like a very deep-seated before it takes a deep-seated root in her heart and it's hard for her to let go of it. Hopefully we can fix that. Um, I think it's not going to be easy, but I think we need to just be aware that our kids aren't perfect either, which is really hard. It's hard to imagine that um, if your kid is the mean kid or the kid who's causing problems, that really is hard. That's like the worst thing that could happen, but they're kids and they're very malleable and they can learn. We just need to be willing to, I think, not look at them with rose-colored glasses and not look at them like they're still that sweet baby that smiled at us all the time and see them as tiny human beings that we are helping to raise into grown-ups who are going to contribute to the good of society. Um, so you just have to be honest. You just you need to be very open and honest and always keep communication open with your tween and your teen. Um, don't ignore your child or deny if your kid is trying to talk to you about bullies um, or if they mention to you that they feel like they're being bullied. I remember my son a few years ago, there was a lot of talk at school. They were really pushing the bullying thing. And so he was very confused what bullying behavior was. And he thought it was anytime anybody disagreed with him was being a bully. So we had to talk about that a lot. Um, but one piece of advice I got from an older mom one time was when my older elementary age kids came home or sat down and wanted to talk to me, no matter what time of day it was, just stop what I'm doing and just listen. Always. And so it can be hard, especially if it's late at night and you just want them to go to bed. But that sometimes is the time that your kid wants to open up is when you're trying to get them to calm down and go to sleep. So this is a kind of a downer episode, but it's a real life episode. And as I'm trying to navigate the waters of having a teenager and having a tween, this is where we're at, guys. When we had babies, they were physically dependent on us and it was physically exhausting. And now they are older and it is emotionally exhausting and mentally exhausting as well. And yes, all of the moms who told me that I was going to miss the baby stage when it's gone, you were all right. Even though you were annoying, you were correct. I do like my older kids. I just don't want to mess them up for life. So don't overreact. Don't ignore your kids when they're talking to you or think they're being overly dramatic. And above all else, be kind to yourself. Always be kind. Da da da.
3, 2, 1.
It's time for what app is Bert using? Yay! Hello, friends. It is your favorite time of the Me Before Mom show. I'm going to tell you what app I am currently using, and my lovely producer Sarah is going to chime in, and we're going to see if she has any idea what I'm talking about because she only does things with football and music and soundboards.
And yoga, okay?
And yoga.
I'm a very balanced person.
She is a very balanced person with her football and yoga.
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, so hands down, the absolute, if you do not have this app on your phone, you need to go and get it right away. It's called Happy Color. It's free.
Where's my phone?
Yeah, see? She's looking for it right now. She doesn't even know where her phone is. That's okay. It's very easy to spell. Happy, Happy, color. So it is a coloring app. The amount, it's like a color by number. So you press the color, and then there's like this little gray pixelated like boxes will show up on the picture, and you just press the box to color in, you know, whatever that color is. It is so relaxing, and it's so simplistic. I cannot tell you. It is like the absolute best app there is, though. Like every single person I've said, oh my gosh, you have to get Happy Color. They're like, this is the best thing ever. It makes me really sleepy too. Like it gets me really relaxed.
Cool.
So
Happy Color.
Happy Color.
I'm in on Happy Color.
Yes. And then another one that my kids really love, and I think is a really good one for just kids and anybody, actually, it's called Anti-Stress. And I forget who it's by, but Twyla, the CEO of Matriarch Digital Media's daughter, introduced me to it because she loves it. And it has a ton of different games on it. And my kids use it all the time. So like if I'm trying to distract them from something, I will hand them my phone and they'll play Anti-Stress. And there's things on there, like there's like a popper. And so you can feel the popping. There's like a bubble wrap popper thing on there too on the phone. Yeah, so like you can pop the bubbles like on the bubble wrap.
Ooh, I want to do that. That sounds satisfying.
It's really fun. There's also like a fidget spinner. There's this one too where there's like this Christmas tree. You can like put the ornaments on the Christmas tree. They're like glass ornaments. And then when you tilt the phone over, all of the balls, the Christmas ornaments fall off at the tree and break.
Sounds satisfying.
It's very simplistic and satisfying.
Cool. I like those things.
So that's that. Those are my two that I like use all the time. Do you have any you use?
I use the Calm app. You have the Calm app?
Oh, I looked into that.
It's a good app. I like to be calm.
What do you like about it?
Guided meditations are fun. That's basically what I use on there. I also have the Calm magnesium powder.
Oh.
It's very good for feeling relaxed, especially when you're
magnesium at night.
Yeah, because it's just like whoosh.
It's very good for your muscles. It's a good recovery.
Right. So the Calm app makes their own magnesium.
Oh.
Very cool.
That, my friend, is called good marketing.
Exactly. What else do I use? Oh, I like Free Flow. That's another app I use.
Is that a yoga app? That sounds like it would be a yoga app.
No, it's a game. You have to connect the colors on this board, and like they're like lines, and you have to like connect the dots without like going through the other lines.
Oh, fancy.
It's very relaxing also. I think it's a lot like Happy Color.
Ooh, I'll have to look into that. So, that's all we got, folks. You should tell us in the comments, right? Or someplace on all our social media outlets what apps you like. But mainly tell me if you love Happy Color as much as I do.
Happy Color!
Happy Color! Ta-da!
Ta-da! Okay, see you next week.
Okay, bye!
Bye-bye.
And that is a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And in case you were wondering, Me Before Mom is hosted by me, Bert Anderson, and it is produced by the lovely and talented Sarah Abdel All. You can also check out Matriarch DM for all of the show notes, as well as other amazing podcasts for women by women. And don't forget to check out my own website, bertmanderson.com, so you can see what's going on in my world. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time.